Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to another class of Business English. And as we were discussing about presentation skills yesterday, we understood that when we talk about presentation or when we are expressing anything that is there in our mind in a beautiful manner so that the audience can understand whatever you want to communicate or share is called as presentation. Now, in order to change any presentation into an effective presentation, you should always remember anything that you are expressing is presentation. But if you are expressing the point of view with a proper understanding of your audience, when you understand what is the expectation of the audience, and when you are setting your goals and objectives based on the expectation of the audience, then only we can call it as an effective presentation. So in order to give an effective presentation, what are the other things that we have to keep in our mind, or what are the other things that one should take into consideration? Let us move ahead. Let us proceed ahead with the same thought that when we talk about effective presentation, there are certain techniques. These techniques are called as aids or tools. Now, not to forget, presentation can be given with aids, without aids. Say, for example, when you are sitting in front of the interviewer and when you are attending the interview process, you are giving your presentation. You are answering to the questions that are asked by the interviewer. So the presentation that you are going to deliver at that point of time will not require any aid. But in case if you are sharing your proposal, in case if you are selling any product, in case if you are trying to engage your audience to the word or to the point with which you are trying to express and explain about any kind of services, then you may require certain aids. Those aids under the different presentation aids, one is PowerPoint presentation, which each and every student pretty well is aware of. And so therefore we should understand that whenever we are talking about effective presentation technique, the first and the most important thing is you should know presentation can be given without aids and it can be given with aid. Now, when we say with aid, what are the things that we can use? Sometimes we use whiteboard. Sometimes we do use flip charts. Sometimes we use audios. Sometimes we use videos. Sometimes we use diagram. And sometimes we use PowerPoint presentation. Now, when I say giving an effective presentation, how many of you remember that your teachers have told and taught you about water cycle? Quickly in the chat box, I want to know how many of you remember the complete process of water cycle. So Aradhna is very quick in answering that yes, she remembers the way her teacher had told her and taught her about the process of water cycle. Aradhna, can you unmute your speaker and can you let me know what is the complete process of water cycle? Or Ritik or Pintu, any one of you. Can you please explain the process of water cycle? What is it that you remember that was being told and taught by your teacher in class 7th and 8th?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember the complete process of water cycle?
Ma'am, not complete, but some of them I'm remember. That first is evaporation.
क्या आप कर सकते हैं?
Sorry, ma'am. Your voice
किस
is
चीज के
breaking.
कारण से इवेपोरेट होता है? अच्छा ठीक है. ऋतिक, क्या आपके पास कोई आइडिया है या पिंटू आपके पास? हाँ हाँ, आराधना बताइए प्लीज. याद है वाटर साइकिल? किसी टीचर ने समझाया था, सिखाया था वाटर साइकिल के कंप्लीट प्रोसेस को? नो इश्यूज, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन इट. शायद इससे आपको रिकॉल हो जाए. Your teacher must have drawn on the board at one corner the sun and the falling rays of the sun. On the other hand, she might have drawn the clouds. When sun rays falls on any water body, it could be ocean, it could be sea, it could be river, it could be ponds, or it could be anything. The artificial created ponds too. So when the sun rays falls on the water body, because of the heat of the sun rays, what happens? The water becomes hot it converts into vapor, and the vapor, which is again in gaseous form, it goes up. And when it moves upper and upper, it turns or it gets converted into cloud. When the water content in these clouds goes on increasing, after some or after certain period of time, the clouds, they once again melt back, they come back in the form of precipitation, which could be in the form of dew, fog, rain, snowfall, snowflakes fall, different ways. So do you remember the picture that was drawn and explained by your teachers? Now, what was your teacher doing? She was giving a presentation. With the help of this diagram, what did she do? She made you understand the complete process of water cycle. इससे आपको याद रहा, इससे आप अपने ऑडियंस के दिमाग में एक लॉन्ग लास्टिंग इंप्रेशन को छाप रहे हैं, और इसके साथ साथ ये भी होता है कि आप अपने ऑडियंस को एक appropriate information को शेयर कर पा रहे हैं. All right. How many of you recall this, the complete process of water cycle after I explained it to you all? If you could remember the complete process, WC are the two word letters that you're going to write. Either you can write the words water cycle or WC, right? So again, Aradhana is quick in answering. So this is the way the complete process or functioning of water cycle happens. Now, how this had happened, it's only because of the presentation. Was your teacher using any aid? Of course, she has used or he has used the aid. What is the aid that he or she might have used? They might have used the blackboard with the chalk, or even the whiteboard with marker. So these are the common ways of giving presentation. But yes, of course, when the technology goes on enhancing, enriching, we not only limit our presentation to whiteboard or blackboard, but other than the white and blackboard, we also use the different aids like PowerPoint presentation. We use audios, we use videos. And in today's class, when we are discussing about effective presentation, I want you all, the future managers of different organizations, to understand that you will be asked to prepare presentation. And when you will be asked to prepare presentation, your boss will also say that instead of including lots of words, instead of writing lengthy paragraph, you restrict it or you limit it to pictures, words, and even graph. If you remember, we have already discussed in semester 1, the information that is graphically presented to the audience is called as infographic. Any information, जब आप किसी भी तरह के information को graphically present करते हैं ताकि audience उस image के through, उस picture के through, उस graph के through data को समझ सके, इसे infographic कहा गया. Now, what are the different ways of representing or utilizing infographic? Let us understand about that at length in today's class. So, if we talk about presentation and delivering effective presentation, we should remember there are three important elements. The first and the most important thing is your voice. Of course, you are going to use aids. Of course, you are going to use audio or videos. But if you are using any aid along with your voice, if it is not loud, people cannot understand. If the pitch is not right, people will not understand the expression. If it is not spoken with right rate or speed, again people will find it difficult to understand. Similarly, where to take the pause, where to include these small pauses and breaks, where we are going to take a halt so that the audience can think, ponder, and express their opinion. This is the first element. Every one of you, whenever you're going to give your presentation, with aid, without aid, you should remember vocal technique matters a lot. If there is a mic, you have to again mellow down your voice. Holding a mic and then being loud, it's going to create echoes. So you should always understand, if you're holding mic, what is the distance? How far your mic should be from your mouth? Is your voice very low? Is your voice very loud? Is it a shrill one? Is it a one which is very harsh and hard? So how do you mellow down your voice while using the mic? In case if mic is not there, then what are the ways that you are going to apply in order to help the audience listen to your voice? So what should be the loudness of your voice? Matters a lot. Pitch matters a lot. Rate matters a lot. You cannot be too fast. You cannot be too slow. If you are too fast and if you are too slow, the audience, whosoever is going to listen to your statement, cannot understand. Therefore, you should know the appropriate rate and even where to include the pauses so that you can bring in efficiency in your presentation style. The second element is related to eye contact. Please remember, body language matters a lot. If you are not working on the body language, what is going to happen? You may look at one single audience and then go on your each presentation. It generally happens in classroom. You will see a teacher who comes to teach, they should engage the complete audience of that particular class. Sometimes certain teachers, they fail to understand that they come to teach the class to a group. What happens? A group which is sitting close to the teacher or in front of the board, they are the one who grab the attention of the teacher, and teachers are also keen to only explain the students, the one who are sitting in the front benches. They have a proper eye contact with only these students. And that is the biggest reason why the other students, wherein the eye contact is missing, they turn mischievous. If there is an eye contact, everybody will pay attention. The moment the eye contact is missing, the moment a teacher finds it difficult to generate proper eye contact with the complete class fellows, you will see there is distraction. Slowly the murmurs will turn into loud voice, and then there is complete chaos in the class. So always understand, as a presenter, the one who's going to give the presentation, how do you develop the eye contact? If you are giving presentation in a big hall, you should know at what place the audience are sitting. Try to look at the audience from different sides and at different angle, so that the audience will feel that yes, the speaker is looking at us and generating the eye contact. The gesture and posture of yours, you cannot stand behind the lectern, because the moment if you are standing behind the lectern or the podium, your body language is not at all visible to the audience. They cannot read your body language. You are creating an obstacle. So always stand in the middle of the stage. In case if you have to move, don't move too fast. Don't become an obstacle or hindrance in front of the projector. The projector should not fall on your face. The projector's image should not fall, or its view should not fall on your back. You have to be aside so that the presenter can present the information looking into the eyes of the audience, and audience must be able to see not only the presentation but also the eye of the speaker. So always remember, the presentation is meant for the audience, not for the speaker. So when you are giving the presentation, your eye should be completely focused on what you are going to say and to whom you are going to say, not on these slides. Therefore, work out on your posture. The space that you maintain should always cover each and every audience. If you're standing in the middle of the hall, what is going to happen? कई बार ऐसा होता है ना, आप चलते 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 क्लासरूम के बीच में खड़े हो गए, आप जितने लोगों के सामने खड़े हैं उतना ही ज्यादा व्यू है। अगर आप बीच में खड़े होते हैं तो आधा क्लास आपको नजर आ रहा है और आधा क्लास आपको नजर में नहीं आता, क्योंकि आपका बैक बिहाइंड है, वो आपके हाइंड साइड में है वो। इसी कारण से आपको ध्यान में रखना है, जब भी आप प्रेजेंटेशन दें, you should see everybody whosoever are there, either in the hall or in the room, in the class, wherever you are going to give the presentation. And movement should be limited and restricted. When we understand these three elements, we also understand there are certain common problems. The verbal fillers, कई बार कई लोगों की आदत होती है सेम वर्ड को बार बार लगातार रिपीट करना. Okay, is a common word which you may hear from different people while they are speaking. They may end every sentence with okay. They may end every sentence with like. They may end every sentence with because or generally, accordingly, often. So there are certain words which will be used by the speaker to fill the gap. That should be eliminated. Not only these, but also these again, the connecting sounds should be eliminated if you really want to give a good presentation. Unnecessarily swaying, moving your legs, shaking your hands, rocking yourself, pacing here and there. You need to understand, as a presenter, you must have complete control over your body first. If you can control your body, certainly you can control even your audience in a better way. Hands in the pockets. Complete no-no. Whenever you are giving any presentation, if you're holding mic with one hand, fair enough. The other hand should give some or the other gesture. In case if there is no mic in your hand, then do not keep the hands in the pocket. Don't fold your arms and don't stand and speak. It is better to give some or the other gesture in order to present your opinion. Similarly, lip smacking, time and again, biting the teeth, playing with hair, or moving or turning the pages, making different sounds and noises should be eliminated. As I said, fidgeting should be avoided. Now, why these should not be done? Because if you do so, you are going to fail to get connected with the audience. And if you fail to get connected with the audience, big trouble. What are the ways that we have to keep in our mind in order to create effective visual aids? Here are certain basic things that I would like to explain in today's class. Please remember, we use visual aids in order to enhance the understanding. Whose understanding are we talking about? Presenter or the audience? What would be your answer? What do you think? Whose understanding can be enriched, can be enhanced by showing the visual aids? Do you think presenter requires all these visual aids or the audience? Very rightly stated, Pintu. Excellent. Yes, of course, it is the audience. You are giving presentation with the help of aids so that the aid can hook the audience. When I say hook the audience, I'm trying to explain that आप ऐसा कोई तरकीब निकालते हैं ताकि सुनने वाले का ध्यान आपके बातों से ना हटे. आप अगर विजुअल एड्स को प्रेजेंटर अपने बेनिफिट के लिए अगर यूज करना शुरू करें तो आप देखेंगे जब तक आप पलटकर स्लाइड देख रहे हैं तब तक आपका आई कांटेक्ट उन 5 से 7 सेकेंड्स के लिए आपके ऑडियंस से हटा हुआ है. जैसे ही आपका आई कांटेक्ट आपके ऑडियंस के तरफ से हटा, आपका ऑडियंस डिसइंटरेस्ट शो करना शुरू करेगा, डिसकनेक्टेड हो जाएगा और साथ में जो सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, आपको रिस्पेक्ट देना बंद कर देगा, क्योंकि आपने एड ऑडियंस के लिए बनाया है, ना अपने लिए. Hence, always remember, while giving any presentation and while using the visual aids, you are using visual aids in order to enhance the understanding of the audience. Hence, try to add variety. Use videos, use audios, use PPT, use slides, use different techniques, questions, answer, quiz, some storytelling, so that there can be variety. Always remember, whatever you share, मन में 70% आ गया, उसको लिख कर प्रेजेंट कर दिया, ये नहीं चलने वाला. You are talking about professionalism, and the professionals, they always say that if you are presenting any aid, if you are presenting any picture, if you are presenting any video, if you are presenting any kind of image, they need the source. They want to know from where did you get that information, whether it is legible or not, whether it is evidentially proven or not, whether it is related to facts, and whether the figures that you are going to present is proven or not. So support the claims, and it always helps you to create the lasting impact. If you follow these, what is going to happen? You will see that your way of presentation will enhance a lot. Now, there are certain tips which each one of you must understand. हम जब infographics की बात करते हैं, तो infographics का प्रयोग कब कैसे किया जाए. टेबल, बहुत ही ज्यादा डेटा, अगर हमारे पास बहुत ज्यादा डेटा है, ठीक, and whenever you lose it, please let me know, dear. All right, thank you very much. Now, once again, let me help you understand. डेटा बहुत ज्यादा है. मान लेते हैं अपनी ही क्लास में डे स्कॉलर्स भी है, हॉस्टलर्स भी है. बॉयज और गर्ल्स जो है अपने कॉलेज में, एक सिर्फ बीए का नाम ले लेते हैं. अगर मैं इन सारे इंफॉर्मेशन को वर्ड में लिखूं, 3-4 स्टूडेंट जो डे स्कॉलर्स हैं, और 3-4 स्टूडेंट ऐसा अपना नाम है जो रहते थे आईएससी. बीबीए से कोई नहीं रहता था हॉस्टल में. ठीक, Ananta, thank you for sharing that information, dear. Okay, so Mohini, Priya, Amrita, and Shipuda. Fair enough. Now, say for example, there are 5 students who are living in hostel, and these are girls, 5 hostlers. And in total, when we talk about BBA, A section and B section, we do have 40 students. Out of 40, 5 are hostlers. That means we have 35 day scholars. Similarly, if we talk about boys, we have 60 boys. Let's say there are 12 students who are hostlers. So out of 60, if I minus 12, I'll be left with 48. अब इन 48 स्टूडेंट्स का इंफॉर्मेशन, वो वेजिटेरियन है या नॉन वेजिटेरियन है, उनका उम्र 20 साल से ज्यादा है या 20 से कम है, अगर मैं लिख कर देना चाहूं, क्या एक पैराग्राफ, शॉर्ट पैराग्राफ में इंफॉर्मेशन दिया जा सकता है, या वो जो आप पैराग्राफ लिखेंगे वो लेंदी होने वाला है? आपके हिसाब से क्या होगा जब आप सारे 100 विद्यार्थियों के बारे में नाम, उनका उम्र, वे डे स्कॉलर है या हॉस्टलर है, वेजिटेरियन खाएंगे या नॉन वेजिटेरियन खाएंगे? Rightly stated, Aradhana. Yes, Ananta. And yes, Pintu. Yes, it is going to be too lengthy. Right, Arav? Why it is going to be too lengthy? Because of each and every candidate, you are going to write their name, whether they are day scholar or hostler, what they like, what they prefer, vegetarian or non-vegetarian, and what about their age group. But whenever we have to present such lengthy information in a crisp, in a simpler way, what is the best way that we can do is we can use multiple table. The example that you can see is of a multiple table. On x-axis, you are seeing the first component, that is food habit. The component food habit is subdivided into two categories, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Now, vegetarian is again subdivided into two different categories. Age group more than 20, age group less than equal to 20. Similarly, with non-vegetarians, age group less than equal to 20 or more than 20. On y-axis, you can see we have the first main category, that is of gender. The gender is divided into two forms, boys and girls. Then the boys are again subdivided into two categories, day scholars and hostlers. Similarly, girls are divided into day scholars and hostlers. अब एक पैराग्राफ देखकर इंफॉर्मेशन प्रेजेंट करना किसी भी ऑडियंस के लिए वो सही रहेगा या ऐसा ग्राफ प्रेजेंट करना ये सही रहेगा? What is your opinion? Do you think multiple table is easy, good way to communicate, or should we write long, lengthy paragraph? Right? So rightly stated, through table, yes, Aparajita, graphically we can represent the complex information into simpler one. अगर कोई आपसे पूछे how many girls who are more than 20 years hostlers are living in the hostel and who eat non-vegetarian food. I repeat, girls living in hostel more than 20 years prefer eating non-vegetarian food. Easy to identify? Easy to identify or difficult to identify? So, Pintu, very true. It is 12. Easy. Why? Because you can now read it. As an audience, you can read it. But in case if I read a paragraph, my audience cannot understand the information. Why? Because it is too difficult to restore the data. जैसे इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन इतना है, उस इंडिया कंट्री में जितने भी स्टेट्स हैं उनके पॉपुलेशन इतने हैं. उन सारे स्टेट्स में हर एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट का जो पॉपुलेशन है, अगर मैं पढ़कर किसी के सामने प्रेजेंट करूं और लास्ट में पूछूं अब आप बताइए किस स्टेट का किस डिस्ट्रिक्ट में सबसे ज्यादा पॉपुलेशन है, बोलना इजी होगा? नो. व्हाई? बिकॉज रिकॉल कर पाना मुश्किल है. इसीलिए यह हमेशा याद रखें, विजुअल एड्स को प्रेजेंट करना एक अपने आप में प्रोफेशनलिज्म कहलाता है. Now onwards, you all should know if there are multiple variety of complex data that you have to present, you should choose multiple table. I hope everybody is clear with this concept. All right. So moving ahead to the next one, visual aids may also include pie chart. When do we use pie chart? Whenever we are sharing the percentage. Say for example, there are 10 people. 10 people receive different percentage of profit share. How can we tell or identify or inform others that who has received the maximum percentage? Again, at one glance or by looking at one single pie chart, you can instantly let know what is the percentage and who is the person to whom the maximum percentage was given. Now, as you can see, whenever you are drawing pie chart, it is very important to color code it. If you are using icons, again, it is very important to use appropriate icon. So there are 2 to 3 important points that you should always remember while designing and converting the data into pie chart. Point 1. Percentages. Instead of table, always represent percentage through pie chart.
अगर आपको भी कोई पूछे परसेंटेज को आपको कन्वर्ट करना है तो आप इमीडिएटली टेबल में नहीं घुसना है, आपको कहां पर चले जाना है, यू हैव टू कन्वर्ट द डेटा इनटू पाई चार्ट। पाई चार्ट बनाते हुए आपको ये याद रखना है, परसेंटेज के बारे में जब भी होता है, आप इक्वल शेयरिंग के बारे में या शेयर के बारे में जब भी बात करेंगे, पाई चार्ट का यूज करेंगे। कलर कोड किसका क्या रिप्रेजेंट करना है ये बताना बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, और प्रॉपर आइकन्स का यूज करना इन केस इफ वी आर यूजिंग द आइकन। ऑलराइट, देन लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड द अदर वेज। नाउ इफ यू आर trying to explain the movement of any product, say for example, how many patients were detected COVID positive in the month of Jan, in the month of Feb, in the month of March, in the month of April, now in the month of May, followed by June, July, August, and the rest of the months of this particular year. We are analyzing about one single object. That is, our objective is to identify the total people infected by coronavirus and who are COVID positive. This can be represented with the help of graph. Graph आपको बताता है कि कहां पर अप एंड डाउन हुआ है, कहां पर घटा है, बढ़ा है। एक टेबल में अगर आपने इंफॉर्मेशन ड्राफ्ट करके प्रेजेंट कर दिया तो लोगों को टेबल पूरा का पूरा पढ़ना पड़ेगा, टॉप टू बॉटम, हर एक इंफॉर्मेशन को ध्यान से देखना होगा। लेकिन अगर आपने ग्राफिकली थ्रू लाइन ग्राफ, इसे लाइन ग्राफ कहा जाता है, अगर लाइन ग्राफ के थ्रू आपने रिप्रेजेंट किया, क्या बेनिफिट होने वाला है, इंस्टेंटली देखकर आप बता सकते हैं कि पीक पर कौन से महीना में था, फॉल पे कौन सा महीना। इजी है समझना, और कब कहां पर ग्राफ यूज किया जाता है, जब हम एक ही एलिमेंट को, एक ही सेगमेंट को अलग अलग टाइम पीरियड में मेजर कर रहे हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक स्टूडेंट के लाइफ में मॉर्निंग 9 o'clock उसके शरीर का एनर्जी लेवल क्लास अटेंड करने का क्या होता है, 10 o'clock क्या होता है, 11 o'clock क्या होता है, 1 क्या कितना होगा, 2 क्या होगा, और 3 क्या होगा। इन चीजों को अगर आप लाइन ग्राफ के थ्रू मेजर करें, वेरी ट्रू इस्माइल, मॉर्निंग उठते ही एनर्जी हमेशा हाई होगा, लेकिन जैसे जैसे हम एंड के सेशंस में आएंगे, एक तो इंटरनेट हमारे लिए प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, हम एग्जॉस्ट भी हो जाते हैं, हम टायर्ड भी हो जाते हैं, जिसके कारण से फिर हमारा फॉल पर चला जाए। सो यू कैन रिप्रेजेंट सच इंफॉर्मेशन थ्रू लाइन ग्राफ। ऑलराइट, कितने लोगों ने इस तरह के ग्राफ को पढ़ा है, कभी देखा हो कहीं पर, किस सब्जेक्ट में पढ़ा था, क्विकली कैन यू रिकॉल, किस पेपर में ऐसा ग्राफ पढ़ा था? मैथ्स, ओके ओके, ITM, maths, ITM, geography, all right, mathematics, statistics, Indian economic development, all right. So this is a graph that I have collected from, very good, I'm waiting for that answer, Ankit Kumar. Yes, economics. This is a graph that was collected and taken from the economics, the textbook of economic of class 8th, in which they discuss about the population of India between two different gender, males and female. Now you can see, not only that, they have not only divided it into male and female, particularly age-wise. You will see that it shows 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, and then this is pyramidic. That is, there is a pyramid which is representing the total population of female in the age group of 0 to 4 on the right side, which is red in color. Similarly, in blue in color, it represents the population of male in the age group of 0 to 4. Now, certainly when you see as it goes higher and higher and higher, initially you will see the population is more towards the male initially. When we talk about the age group of 0 to 4, male, it is in between 65 to 52, whereas very close towards 65. Whereas for female, between the age group of 0 to 4, it is closer towards 52, not towards the 65. So this again is very important whenever we are trying to identify the difference between two fixed categories. जैसे मेल और फीमेल दो फिक्स्ड कैटेगरी, उसी तरह से दो प्रोडक्ट हो सकता है, जैसे सैमसंग, वीवो. अब सैमसंग और वीवो के अलग अलग मोबाइल फोन्स, जैसे जो 4G प्रो, नोट, 5G उसका प्रो और उसका नोट, तो अलग अलग वैरायटी का किस तरह से पिरामिड बन सकता है वो आप इजीली रिप्रेजेंट कर दिखा सकते हैं थ्रू पिरामिड्स. ऑलराइट, द नेक्स्ट इज व्हेन यू आर कंपेयरिंग द ग्राफ ऑफ टू डिफरेंट पॉपुलेशन. वेरी कॉमनली यू माइट हैव सीन सच ग्राफ व्हेन यू वॉच IPL मैचेस. क्रिकेट मैच कितने लोगों ने IPL मैच रिसेंटली जो बंद हो गया उसको देखा हो? तो आपने देखा होगा जब दो टीम्स का कंपैरिजन करते हैं, एक का ब्लू में रिप्रेजेंटेशन होता है, दूसरे का ऑरेंज कलर में या येलो कलर में, ताकि आपको पता चल सके कहां पर दोनों सिमिलर फॉर्म में थे, कहां पर वेरिएशंस हो रहा है. अगेन वी यूज द लाइन ग्राफ. द नेक्स्ट इज अगेन flow charts, very commonly used. Flow charts you all might have studied in class 9th while doing your computers, or even when you have opted for computers at your major study in your 11th and 12th, or even when you were studying BBA, your teachers might have told you about the flow chart. The flow charts is again very beautiful way of talking about the processes. When you are explaining someone about the process, कहां से शुरू होगा, फिर उसके बाद क्या प्रोसीड होने वाला है, उसके आगे कहां बढ़ेगा, कहां पर खत्म हो जाएगा, you should always remember flow chart is best way. Again, hierarchical charts very important. जैसे कॉलेज का हेड डायरेक्टर, डायरेक्टर के नीचे में अलग अलग फैकल्टी कोऑर्डिनेटर्स, फैकल्टी कोऑर्डिनेटर के नीचे में एक एक क्लास और क्लास में दो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव. दिस इज अगेन द वे ऑफ प्रेजेंटिंग द हायरार्की. This is again very beautiful way of talking about the family chart, or you might have studied this when you were in class 1, 2, 3, where your teachers might have asked you on the chart paper, stick the picture of your grandfather, grandmother, then your family members like uncle, aunt, as well as your father, then about their siblings, and then rest of the thing. So you can also identify through this particular chart the family or the different members of the family. This can be helpful in different ways. जैसे एक ही कंपनी है, कंपनी के अलग अलग यूनिट्स कहाँ कहाँ पर है, उन यूनिट्स के हेड कौन कौन है, उन यूनिट्स के सब यूनिट्स कहाँ कहाँ पर है. मान लेते हैं एक बैंक ले लेते हैं HDFC के मेन ब्रांचेस कहाँ कहाँ पर है, उस मेन ब्रांच के अंदर में सब ब्रांचेस कहाँ है, उस सब ब्रांच के अंदर में कितने लोकल ब्रांचेस है. So you can give different ways of information through this. Okay, when comparing the different objects, say for example, each student, instead of here, the year and the quarter information, Aditya Vibhor versus Ritik versus Prerna versus Arav. अगर मैं आदित्य का मार्क्स, इंग्लिश, ITM, PPM, उसी तरह से ऋतिक का इंग्लिश, ITM, PPM, अलग अलग स्टूडेंट्स का मैं इस मैट्रिक फॉर्म में प्रेजेंट करूं, तो यहां पर मुझे पता चलेगा किस स्टूडेंट ने सबसे ज्यादा ऑब्टेन किया है, कब किया था, कौन से सब्जेक्ट में किया था, और उसका उसी स्टूडेंट का, एक ही स्टूडेंट का दूसरे सब्जेक्ट्स में कैसा रहा परफॉर्मेंस. ऑलराइट, तो बार चार्ट का प्रयोग तब किया जाएगा व्हेन वी आर कंपेयरिंग one single individual and his performances in the different period or in different segments, along with multiple students in different segments. Again, very important one. final things, the final outlines that you all should identify is the visual aids that we use is only to supplement the presentation. All right, we should remember this. It's not to add something so that the presenter can read and audience can also read. Only the main point should be highlighted. Audience's need should be fulfilled, and it should be simple and clear, easy to understand. The final, there are three important main points. I would like to end up with these three slides. Always keep this in your mind. Audio, video, slides, picture, whatever you're going to use, it must support your main idea. You cannot write complete information on slides and let the audience read. You should always remember, slides are meant for connecting the information with the thought process of audience. Hence, audience को जब आप explain कर रहे हैं, audience का ध्यान आपके बातों पर होना चाहिए और उनका जो आई कॉन्टैक्ट है वो आपका और आपके स्लाइड पर होना चाहिए, ना कि ऑडियंस खुद से ही समझ जाए कि क्या आप रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. वैरायटी ऐड करना जरूरी है, लेकिन इतना भी ज्यादा वैरायटी नहीं ऐड कर देना कि ऑडियंस हॉच पॉच में कंफ्यूज हो जाए. हमेशा याद रखिए, कॉम्प्लेक्स आइडियाज और कॉन्सेप्ट्स को जितना इजी आप बता सकते हैं थ्रू विजुअल एड्स, वो वर्डी सेंटेंसेस और लेंदी पैराग्राफ्स में नहीं प्रेजेंट किया जा सकता. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, दीज आर द इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स. 38 से 44 का पॉइंट फॉन्ट साइज होना चाहिए. तो मेन टेक्स्ट साइज होता है वो 28 का होना चाहिए. अप्रोप्रिएट पिक्चर्स का यूज कीजिए, appropriate animations का यूज कीजिए, appropriate color का यूज कीजिए. Other than this, if you are using any other sound, please remember, sound should not irritate audience. Check the mic system, check the audio, check the video, check the different instruments and gadgets that you're going to use, so that audience will always feel happy to listen to the presenter. If you understand the use of proper presentation and using PowerPoint in right way, particularly through infographic, it is going to help you a lot. तो अब कोई अगर आपसे पूछता है what are infographic, don't stand mum and don't say I don't know. You should be able to explain any information that is graphically represented so that audience can understand and gather relative information that is to be presented by presenter is called as infographic. So if information graphically present किया गया जिसे audience देख भी रहा है और presenter जो बात कर रहा है, जो speaker बात कर रहा है, उसको सुनकर समझ भी रहा है, तभी उन infographics का value है. Otherwise, you will not find any good significance or relevance of using the infographics. All right. So in case if you have any doubts, please do ask. You can unmute your speaker and you can ask these the doubts so that I can help you in understanding the concept with more clarity. Here is the link for your attendance. Request you all to kindly mark your attendance. See you all tomorrow.